Welcome to the English LexiRoot podcast. This podcast episode contains audio generated by AI.
Listen to this short story called The Surprise Visitor to practice your English listening skills. Repeat the story once while reading, and then practice without reading. At the end of the story, we'll explore some key terms that will help improve your English. Here's the story.
Laura was looking forward to a quiet weekend at home. After a hectic week at work, all she wanted was to relax, catch up on her favorite TV shows, and maybe do some baking. She had no plans to go out, and that was exactly how she liked it. It was Saturday afternoon, and Laura was just settling down on the couch with a cup of tea and a blanket, when she heard a knock at the door. She wasn't expecting anyone, and she hesitated for a moment before getting up to answer it. When she opened the door, she was shocked to see her sister Emily standing on the doorstep. Laura and Emily hadn't spoken in years. They had drifted apart after a big argument, and since then they had gone their separate ways, living their lives without much contact. Seeing Emily there unannounced was the last thing Laura expected. "Emily?" Laura said, her voice filled with surprise. "What are you doing here?" Emily looked a little nervous, shifting her weight from one foot to the other. "Hi, Laura. I was in the neighborhood and thought I'd drop by. Can I come in?" Laura hesitated. Part of her wanted to turn Emily away to avoid reopening old wounds, but another part of her, the part that missed her sister, couldn't say no. She stepped aside and gestured for Emily to come in. As Emily entered the house, Laura felt a mix of emotions, anger, sadness, and a glimmer of hope. It had been so long since they had spoken, and she wasn't sure how to feel about this sudden visit. "Do you want some tea?" Laura asked, trying to keep her voice neutral. "That would be nice," Emily replied, offering a small smile. They sat in the living room, the silence between them heavy and uncomfortable. Laura busied herself with making the tea, her mind racing with thoughts. Why had Emily come? What did she want? And most importantly, was Laura ready to hear what she had to say? When the tea was ready, Laura handed Emily a cup and sat down opposite her. They sipped their tea in silence for a few moments, neither one knowing where to start. Finally, Emily spoke. "I know this is unexpected, but I've been thinking about you a lot lately, about us. I miss you, Laura." Laura felt a lump in her throat. She had missed Emily, too, but the pain of their past argument still lingered. "I miss you, too," she admitted quietly, "but things haven't been the same since, you know." Emily nodded, looking down at her cup. "I know, and I'm sorry for that. I've thought about what happened so many times, and I realize now that I was wrong. I shouldn't have said the things I did, and I shouldn't have let my pride get in the way of our relationship." Laura was taken aback by Emily's apology. She had always imagined this conversation happening differently, with more anger and blame. But here was Emily, admitting her mistakes and trying to make amends. "I wasn't perfect either," Laura said after a pause. "I said some things I regret too, but it hurt, Emily. It hurt that we let something so stupid tear us apart." Tears welled up in Emily's eyes. "I know. I've regretted it every day. I don't want to lose you, Laura. You're my sister, and that means more to me than anything." For the first time in years, Laura felt a flicker of hope. Maybe, just maybe, they could mend their relationship. It wouldn't be easy, but it was worth trying. "I don't want to lose you either," Laura said, her voice trembling. "But we need to take this slow. We can't just pretend everything is okay." "I understand," Emily said, nodding. "I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make things right." They sat there for a while, talking about their lives and catching up on everything they had missed. It felt strange, but also comforting, Like slipping into an old, familiar routine, there were still unresolved issues, but for the first time in a long time, they were talking, and that was a start. As the afternoon turned into evening, Laura realized how much she had missed having Emily in her life. They were different people now, but they were still sisters. And maybe, with time, they could find their way back to each other. When Emily finally left, they hugged at the door a little awkwardly but with genuine affection. Laura watched as Emily walked down the path, feeling a sense of relief. The visit had been unexpected, but maybe it was exactly what they both needed. As she closed the door, Laura knew that things wouldn't be easy, but she was willing to try. After all, family was important, and some bonds were too strong to break.
In this story, we explored several key phrases and words that help convey the emotions and experiences of the characters. Let's break down 7 of them to understand their meanings and see how they can be used in different contexts. The first phrase is drifted apart. In the story, Laura and Emily drifted apart after a big argument. This phrase is often used to describe a gradual distancing between people who were once close, usually without a clear reason or conflict. For example, we were best friends in school, but we drifted apart after graduation. Or over the years they just drifted apart, each following their own path. The second phrase is a mix of emotions. Laura feels a mix of emotions when she sees Emily at her door. This phrase is used when someone experiences several different emotions at the same time, often conflicting ones like happiness, sadness, and confusion. For example, when he won the award, he felt a mix of emotions, joy, disbelief, and nervousness. Or, she had a mix of emotions when she moved to a new city: excitement, fear, and loneliness. The third word is hesitated. Laura hesitated before letting Emily in, meaning she paused for a moment, unsure of what to do. Hesitated is often used when someone is uncertain or reluctant to take action. For example, he hesitated before answering the question, unsure of the right response. Or, she hesitated to speak up, afraid of what others might think. The fourth phrase is lump in her throat. When Laura admits she misses Emily, she feels a lump in her throat, which means she feels emotional and is close to crying. This expression describes the physical sensation of holding back tears. For example, as she said goodbye, she felt a lump in her throat and struggled to keep her voice steady. Or, he had a lump in his throat when he heard the sad news. The fifth phrase is make amends. Emily tries to make amends with Laura, meaning she wants to repair their relationship and make up for past mistakes. This phrase is used when someone tries to correct a wrong or apologize for something they regret. For example, after the argument, he wanted to make amends by apologizing and explaining his actions. Or, she made amends with her friend after realizing she had hurt her feelings. The sixth word is flicker. Laura feels a flicker of hope when Emily apologizes. Flicker is often used to describe something small and brief, like a spark or a momentary feeling. In this context, it means Laura felt a small, brief feeling of hope. For example, a flicker of doubt crossed his mind, but he quickly dismissed it. Or she saw a flicker of recognition in the stranger's eyes. The seventh phrase is, take this slow. Laura suggests that they take this slow, meaning they should rebuild their relationship gradually and carefully. This phrase is often used when someone wants to avoid rushing into a situation. For example, they decided to take things slow in their relationship to make sure it was right for both of them. Or when starting a new job, it's important to take it slow and learn the ropes before diving into major tasks. By understanding these key phrases and words, you can better grasp the emotions and decisions the characters made in the story. These expressions are commonly used in English and can help you express similar feelings and situations in your own conversations. Thank you for listening. Be sure to repeat this story several times to practice and listen to our other lessons and stories.
Thank you for listening. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast. Just click the button on your screen, share this with a friend, and keep learning with us. Bye for now.